Hey guys, Mike the Backyard Mechanic back again with this 2010 Mustang. Today we're going to install a Hurst shifter. Looks like that. It says Hurst on it. The shifter. And that. The shift ball. And maybe if we're feeling frisky, we'll put the stickers on that they supplied. Why not? So we got to jack up the car because we got to crawl underneath it. I think I see jack rails in my future. What are jack rails? I just ran across them today from a YouTube video that came into my feed, and they're rails that you bolt on to the subframe of the Mustang, so you've got like infinite jack points in between the front tire and the back tire, and more places to put the jack. Before we take this apart, let's get some measurements so we can get a before and after. Like how far is the throw? Let's measure it. Push in the clutch, first gear. I'm going to set this up to be right at the number 1 on the shift knob, for lack of a better thing to measure against. Pull it into second, and it's exactly 4 inches. So let's see what it'll be after the Hurst shifter. The other thing we can check is how fast can I shift. Starting first, ready. I mean, that's pretty fast. I don't know how much faster I'll be able to go with the Hurst shifter. So, note, I've got the console completely out, but to do this job, you don't need to take the console completely out. You can just lay it out of the way. And I need to check the switch because this thing sticks. It's really sticky. I'll have to either replace it or hopefully I can just clean it out. So I'm going to put this on the workbench and look at it. But right now, let's work on the shifter. We're under the car here, and what we're looking at right there is the bottom of the shift knob that's got to come off. The 13mm socket. Now the one in the back going to be a little harder. Yep, you can see that one right there. My hand's in the way, but that's okay because it's helping to frame that bolt. That bolt goes right up against the sheet metal there. So I've got a ratcheting wrench for that. And then finally at the top, to hold the whole device on, we've got two 10 millimeters. One there and one there. Those have got to come out with a deep dish socket. We're all unbolted underneath. Now we got to wiggle it out of there. A couple of things. It wasn't obvious, but this thing pops off. Definitely need that out of the way to get that out of there. Although the American Muscle has a video on how to get this out, and the mechanic just like sits there in the seat and he wiggles it a little bit and it pops right out. It can come out easy, I guess, if you've done this several times, but I haven't. This is my first time, so it helps to crawl under the car and see what's up, wiggle things around. That's how I found out this was in the way. I managed to kind of wedge this to where it was really close. I came up top and things became a little more clear. We can see it seems to be in good shape. I thought that was messed up, but that's the design. This is really dirty here, but I don't think that affects anything. It looks kind of crude compared to the new one, which looks racing slick compared to this. Now that said, one thing I will say that it's a bit of a con on this Hurst shifter is for some reason it doesn't come with bushings. They make you reuse your old bushings. I don't know why. But these are supposed to pop right out. Just got to keep track of it. It's on the floor over there. There you go. So these are going to go in here. Side. So that's all set. This one's a little harder. This one has to be pressed out. This goes like that. That is not what's supposed to happen. Needed a bigger socket. So I played back the video, and this is the orientation. This goes on this side. So, yeah, this goes in this side. So this is one piece, but there's a groove in there. And I don't know if this is going in crooked or not, but it's hitting that groove. So I think I just might need a little help. I got some dish soap. Let's try that. Maybe even take it all the way out. Oh, dish soap on there. Dish soap is good because dish soap, it dries, as opposed to grease that never dries. Oh, there it goes. A little bit of wiggle, a little bit of luck, and it's in. And this does go up from the bottom. It actually, it's quite a bit easier than going in through the top. So it's in position. Now we've just got to mount it. Okay, the next step is to get that bolt in there first, because you got to do a lot of wiggling and finagling. That's the most difficult bolt to get out and to get back in. And I've got a finger started, and now I've got to use the open end wrench to painstakingly screw that sucker in. But I'm going to still leave it loose until I get the other bolts finger tight. That'll tighten everything up. Okay, that bolt is, well, it's not reefed all the way, but it's snug. And again, it's important that that's the first one, because I found I had to keep on wiggling this thing as I bolted it in, because it's a shoulder screw. It's got to go in very straight. And it felt like I was cross-threading it at first, but as I was like relieving pressure off of this, it started going in. Okay, the bracket's on. The nuts are holding in place. It's pretty loose. I've got that nut started. That's for the shifter. Here's the part that shifts, and then this goes up to the shift handle. The nut is on for the shift stick that mounts it to the lever to the transmission. And this is not uniform. This has got a long side and a short side, and the long side goes towards the driver, short side goes towards the nut. This is not obvious. You have to refer to the instructions. This nut is hard to put on. This is a locking nut, so you need the ratchet for the whole thing. A little bit of work needs to be done in the console. I fixed my switch. This top button, the traction control, was sticking. Now it's no longer sticking. Reason? Whoever owned this before, they had used some electrical tape to hold this in place, and they did a pretty shoddy job. The electrical tape was actually binding up in the button, so there's clips missing on the ends, and it's completely supported this way. It just needs to be kept from bouncing around and maybe possibly being pulled out. So that's all taken care of. I've got to take this off, replace it with this as per the instructions, and tie it up with a wire tie. Let's see how this goes. Mission accomplished. Now let's try it. Okay, first test. Three inches instead of 4. 25%. Second test. How fast can I shift? There you go. There we go. All right, let's take it for a drive. So there you go, Hurst shifter installed. Took about 4 hours. And now I can finally say I have a Hurst shifter in my car. Love it. That said, it's awesome for driving fast. It's awesome for getting it, doing pulls. When you're shifting fast, it's notchy and it's a short throw. You get your gears really quick. However, for leisurely driving, it's not as nice because you actually have to put some muscle into the gears, so you can't just kind of leisurely shift gears. You're constantly pushing it. So yeah, there's some trade-offs here. But that said, Hurst shifter, got one. Thanks everybody. Like and subscribe, or don't. I don't really care, but I'm glad you watched. Tune in again next time when I do something else cool, and hopefully it'll go well.